That one's rolling.
All right. I've been talking about different things. We talked about different crankbaits, different depth crankbaits, small profile crankbaits. Throwing a crankbait in the wind. You know, if you fish in a farm pond, for sure, the wind dictates the current. So most people will get in there and cast with the wind to the back because it makes it easy, but honestly, the fish are going to be facing the current, so you really need to be throwing into the wind. Well, throwing into the wind is a pretty tough chore at times depending on the speed of the wind, but with a crankbait, throwing in the wind can be tough. This is about the most innovative, and it's the first time that magnets have really made sense to me. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to turn it over here where we can zoom in. I want you to see now, this is the magnetic side. It has a centrifugal brake on the other side, but this is the magnetic side. And this reel, when you cast it, the centrifugal force of the cast, there is a floating spool in there. And when you cast it, the harder you cast it, the more centrifugal force it makes that moving cup go closer to the magnet. So when you need it the most, it's actually an extension, it's a cup that is an extension of the spool. And it comes closer, the harder you throw it, the closer, the more that centrifugal force drives that plate to the ball bearings. That cup that comes off the spool, it drives it closer to the ball bearings, so it gives it more resistance to keep you from getting an overrun. I fished in a gale force wind. The first day I got this reel, I said, I'm gonna really try it out. I fished in a gale force wind, casting directly into the wind. Now I had to adjust it and it took me a little while, but once I got these magnets figured out, man, I cast for hours without getting an overrun. Amazing, and I mean, I was getting some great distance. So this is a revolutionary reel. If you have problems throwing a bait casting reel and say, I just can't throw one, I get a backlash, then you need to try this Custom Pro. It will allow you to cast this bait, cast your crankbait, a bait, you know, sometimes you'll get a crankbait and it'll turn sideways on you right off the bat, and poof, you get it. It won't totally make that go away, but it'll make it so manageable, it's unbelievable. If you throw and hit this boat seat, yep, you're gonna get a backlash, but it's gonna make it way more manageable. If you're gonna throw it in the wind, it's gonna make it and allow you to throw in the wind without getting a backlash. It's a very impressive reel. It's a Custom Pro. They're available. You can go online and look at it. And you can see that this cup that I'm talking about is just an extension of the spool. It gets closer to the ball bearings when you first cast the centrifugal force, and then it retracts as the cast starts to slow down. The cup retracts so you don't have as much magnetic field. And it's the first, honestly, it is the first reel that I can honestly look at you and say, I really like the ball bearing. I've always used the centrifugal drag. I will set the ball bearing drag occasionally, or the magnetic, I keep saying ball bearing. The magnetic drag, I will set that occasionally. But I really depend on this centrifugal drag just to put pressure on the spool. I just crank it down, it puts pressure on the spool equally. The magnetic field reduces the overrun when you generate too much speed, but it has never performed like it does with this movable cup because it gets closer to the magnets when you force that cast. It's really quite a reel to keep from getting a backlash, and it will allow you to throw into the wind on those windy days when most reels won't allow you to do that. I mean, you got to be a really good pro and spend a lot of time on the water to cast hard crankbait cast into the wind. This reel will allow anybody, if you only fish 2 or 3, 4 times a year, this reel will allow you to do that. It's pretty remarkable. Let me go back and tell you the name of this reel. I keep calling it Custom Pro. It is a Custom Pro Gen 3. Custom Pro Gen 3. Now, it is just a remarkable reel. And I'm gonna tell you, We go through so many things and we talk about it, and people text me or people write me letters or people email me, well, where can I find that? Where can I find? We're going to put a link down below, and we're going to start doing that from here on out, where you won't have to try to email and run me down to get information. We'll put a link down where you can find them if you're looking for one. But this Custom Pro Gen 3 will help you keep from getting an overrun, and it will allow you to make longer casts into the wind, and I can promise that.